What's going on, all you wild video game enthusiasts out there? Your two favorite TV reviewers are back tonight, and I'm joining Uncle Logan here, and we are very excited to be reviewing the all-new Prime series. It's based on the Bethesda produced video game series, one of the best-selling video game series of all time. A game, multiple Fallout games that you've played, so you're very familiar with this universe. But me, it's all new to me. Who are these wild ghouls? I don't know, but we're about to find out and dig in deeper as we review Fallout.
What is happening here? Everyone wants to save the world. They disagree on how. There you are, you little killer.
That's right, you wild ghouls. His two favorite uncles are back here to talk about the entire season of Fallout. We were just, last week or earlier this week, we released our review of the pilot episode, of course. We're back talking about all 8 episodes that's streaming on Prime Video. And, had a really great time with this, of course. Getting the chance to watch all 8 episodes. I think I watched it in like 2 or 3 days, binged it pretty quickly. And I know you just finished it a few days ago. So really excited to, be back here to talk about it. Love the show, love the video game series, the whole atmosphere they set up, going down in the vaults and basically what's going on above the ground with all these sorts of bad people and apocalyptic environment here and everything they're coming across.
Right away, I was blown away by the way they were able to capture the look and everything that I'd seen before from the artwork from the video games. Like just looking at the poster there, her walking out of the vault into the, wasteland as it was, the post-apocalyptic world as it is in this game series, and in the show, that opening, scene where it shows Walton Goggins' character, Cooper. He's basically at a birthday party. He's kind of a Wild West character, an actor, and he's dressed up like a cowboy there. He's at a birthday party to entertain kids. He used to be a TV star, obviously starred in some Westerns. So he's playing up that character at this birthday party. The other dads there are whispering and, like, what's he doing at a birthday party? Oh, I heard he was, basically a man whore and slept around on his wife. There's like little whispers of him basically, being down on his luck and needing some money. And, after that scene, then we see him kind of go inside and they're having cake. And Cooper's daughter walks up to the window and, sees this big cloud coming up from the city. And, she puts her finger out and, they figure out that that's a nuclear bomb that dropped there and they're seeing the mushroom cloud. And then all of a sudden you see the aftershock and you see it coming towards them and they have to get the hell away from there. They hop on the horse and ride away. And then after that takes place several hundred years in the future.
And we're introduced to the people down in the vault dwellers. We have the McLean family, of course, Kyle MacLachlan playing Hank. He's the dad, and his daughter Lucy, played by Ella Purnell. And she's really the focal point of this series. The 8 episodes of what she's going through. She had like the normal life down below in the vaults, of course, involved with a lot of different stuff. And then she basically, they come across these raiders that basically come in and capture them and kill a lot of her people from this vault. And they capture Hank, to go out into the wasteland. And of course, Lucy has to go after him to find him. And first time being outside of the vault and going out there is totally new to her. She had a lot of courage. And, going out there to find her dad. She didn't know who she was going to come across, of course. It introduced a lot of weird characters along the way that she comes across. And, it's about survival. It's trying to fend for herself and trying to find her father.
She was a great lead because, like her, I didn't know what was going to be out in this world, this, not having to play in the video game. So it's very much her going into this world with fresh eyes, much like I was. I didn't know what to expect by this or who they were going to run into, who was good, who was bad. And I was pleasantly surprised with the story and following her journey to find this. You come across with people that you'll recognize, other actors that we've seen from other shows and movies along the way. A lot of cool Easter eggs hidden throughout. Every episode has Easter eggs galore from the games, And I loved how they built the story up. They did a great job. They don't show you everything all at once. There'll be an episode, and then, and within that episode, they'll flash back a little and give you little bits and pieces of the story. So you'll see the perspective from several characters. Like you mentioned, Lucy is the focal point, but we also see the focal point from this knight, this knight who's named Maximus. He's doing some training. It's basically like kind of like a military academy training, and he's training to become one of the Knights of the Brotherhood. And they wear these big mechanical suits, which is another thing I had seen from video games and stuff, seeing little clips of it, those big mechanical suits that walk around and, can shoot explosives. So you have that character. And then the third character, it's basically three characters that are the main focus of the series in these 8 episodes. The last character is Walton Goggins, Cooper, but you're seeing him now been deformed from the blast, and he's basically a zombie in a way now, being kept alive, and he is known as the Ghoul.
The Ghoul, and we're also introduced to some other ghouls, but not as handsome as, of course, Walton Goggins in this character. But was my favorite character in the series, and seeing him embark like an old cowboy in a Western movie, and being a badass. His guns were awesome, like just blowing people up. I mean, the action and set pieces they had in the show were incredible. Like costume design, set design, all the effects they use. It looks so realistic, and it's paid homage to a lot of things like movies and TV shows as well, Star Wars in some ways, and Last of Us, all that kind of stuff. Bringing that world from the video games into this TV series just incredible, and one action piece after the next, and following these 3 characters of Maximus, Lucy, and of course the Ghoul, and of course them all meeting up eventually in the series and where that leads their characters.
I was a little worried going into this that I wouldn't be able to follow it, not having played any of the video games, but I was really happy with how they were able to tell the story and bring me on board. And, I wasn't ever felt like I was in the dark too much. It kind of gets confusing some of the times when they're talking about the different vault numbers, like, oh, 31 did this and 33 did this, but they don't really bombard you with too many overarching details that you're going to have trouble remembering. It's pretty focused, and it drops little hints along the way, and it's very surprising throughout the episodes too. You learn the people that you're following. Some of them aren't who they seem, and some of them, actually the tables turn completely, and the characters kind of end up being the heroes that you thought were villains. Not to spoil anything, but man, I was really into the show, and it's definitely a show that I wanted to keep watching, like one after the other. I didn't want to take a break. A part of me would think that this show would be one of those shows that would do really well going week by week, but I was happy that it was available to binge because I didn't want to wait. It's one of those shows where you want to just watch it and absorb everything in this world. And everything about it's terrific, and we owe a lot of that to Jonathan Nolan. He's obviously the brother of Christopher Nolan, and he was in charge of Westworld along with his wife, and they are involved in this. And everything that was great about Westworld, as far as the cinematography and the science fiction aspect of that show, is in full force in this. And it looks like Prime had, was basically throwing millions of dollars at this show because everything looked great, down to every detail of the video games that I knew about. Number one being the costume, the recognizable costume that Lucy's wearing there, the yellow and blue jumpsuit with the numbers and that same font that the game had. Man, this world was phenomenal, and Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy being involved in this, I think it really just boosted it through the roof and made it one of those shows that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, they brought everything from the video games to this, 8-episode series, and put their own spin on it too at times, which I appreciated. Like I didn't want to be copy and pasted. I wanted them to do their own thing at the same time, but keep the same kind of atmosphere. I thought the set design, of course, the effects in the show, the costume design, it really felt like you're walking into the video game, and very impressed by that. It's hard to do with a game like this. There's so many video games in this series, and they did it justice. Just an incredible looking series from start to finish. Binged it in a few days, fell in love with this world again. Can't wait to go back and replay, Fallout 4 and a few other games that they have out there that are free right now on PlayStation. So can't wait to pick those up. I'm really impressed here. I love the Lucy character. Maximus was okay. He was hit or miss, probably the weakest character of the show, but maybe he gets better in the upcoming seasons. Of course, Walton Goggins, the Ghoul, my favorite character in the series next to Lucy. And I love the Ghoul episode with all of them kind of breaking out like a Walking Dead, kind of vibe to it.
That
So
was
like
awesome.
zombies with the two stoner guys. And
Yeah.
there's some good comedic bits in this series too. There's a lot of funny parts I was laughing out loud at. It brings a lot of emotions, for video game fans and people just, getting introduced to this like yourself for the first time. You get the whole point of what they're trying to do here, and it's not confusing. Really had a great time with this. I can't say enough great things about Fallout. One of my most anticipated shows of the year, my favorite show of the year thus far, and highly recommend it. So with that being said, I'm going to give Fallout currently streaming on Prime Video a 5 out of 5 ghoul hair pieces.
Another thing I wanted to mention was the score, the 50s score. It had a lot of music from the 50s and a lot of the, the set pieces in that, the flashbacks. It looks like it was in the 50s. The costume, the wardrobes, everything looked great. And I liked how that was like the backdrop to the future. How they put those two together was really cool. And I like the technology that's utilized in the show too, like the big wrist
Pip-Boy.
whatever the Pip Boys, those are really cool too. It's like their version of the Apple Watch, or having an iPhone basically. But it was really cool, and seeing some of the experimentation they were doing, especially in that one vault, and seeing some of those characters how they're like mutated, and and then another vault from that too, where it was basically a bunch of rich people that had paid to be basically kept alive in these tanks, and then you had like this brain basically on a Roomba going around, and it still had the voice, the brain was working. So there's a lot of cool moments like that really blew me away, and this show delivered on every front for me. It was great. Another actress I wanted to mention that plays Lee Moldaver, she's a villain that's introduced like right away, played by Sarita Chaudhry. She did a great job too. I liked her character. She was in The Path. She was in Homeland. So she's another great actress, and it's a really great cast. Even the supporting cast here, Norm, who was in it a lot, he was great. And then you had like Woody. There's just a lot of great characters, and just within the vaults themselves, I loved how they looked. Everything just looked phenomenal, and the story was great. Everything was great about this. I'm raving about it. I must want to give it I was going to give it a 4.5, but no, this is damn good. I don't know why I would give it anything less than a 5 out of 5 Lucy hair pieces.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the guy from Lost. I don't want to give too much away, but Lucy's kind of tasked with taking the severed head to Moldover to basically, it has a chip in the head, and that's how she'll get her dad back without giving too much away. But I like the actor that showed up.
Yes, and we should also mention to make sure that obviously you're going to watch it till the very end, but it's very cool, that last shot. It gives you a glimpse into what's going to happen in the second season and the setting. Just a really memorable ending, and something that's going to keep you hanging on until the next season finally comes. You're going to remember that last shot because it teases something really cool and epic and huge for a character. Seeing that character overlook that area was pretty damn cool, and I know you're going to be looking forward to that.
Absolutely, man. I was so excited. I'm like, I want more, just like you. I didn't want it to end, and I could have watched another 40 hours of it. So we're interested from hearing from all you vault dwellers out there. What did you like about Fallout series? What didn't you like about it? What's your favorite video game? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, check out these Wild Raiders on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV, movie news, and reviews.
So thank you very much, you wild ghouls out there, for watching our review of Fallout Season 1. A great job by everybody involved in this show, and Prime, Prime's killing it. They got some killer shows now, shows that are getting us to come back to the streaming service. So it's a fun time to be a TV watcher nowadays, and this was a really fantastic series. We want to hear from you guys after you watch it, so make sure to let us know. So until the next Cinephellas review, I'm Uncle Henry.
And I'm Uncle Logan Goggins, signing out until the next TV review.
Cheers.